Hello, I'm Steven,
And I'm Aaron.
and we've just seen
Scary
Scary
movie.
Movie, new film that's out in theaters right now, starring Marlon Wayans, Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Sean Wayans, and it is directed by Michael Titus. All right, so this is Scary Movie 6, and in this installment, we see the return of the Wayans brothers to the franchise 25 years after their last. Yeah, Scary Movie 2, that was 2001.
Yeah.
The Ghostface killer from the original film is back, and he's targeting the cast of the original Scary Movie as well as the new cast. There's really not much to it.
Yeah. Well, this is a send up of Scream 5, which was simply called Scream, and this one is simply called Scary Movie. I guess we should get this out of the way first. Was the movie funny?
Did I laugh? Yes, several times.
Yeah.
Was the movie funny? Not really.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of funny bits in it and stuff that I laughed at quite a bit. Quite a few like really hard laughs in there.
There's a fair amount of chuckles.
Yeah. The thing though, and it's kind of irritating because they make a point several times to call out the fact that 3 and 4, Scary Movie 3 and 4 were made without their involvement at all. Just kind of calling those movies out as being bad. The thing that works about Scary Movie 1, 2, and even 3 and 4 is that they felt focused and like they were centered around a specific movie they were spoofing.
Yeah, the first one was Scream. The second one was The Haunting, of all things. The third one was Signs. And then the fourth one was World of Worlds. Every movie was a singular idea with a bunch of references to other movies
Mhm.
tethered to it, but there was still a focus
Yeah,
from beginning to end.
there was a narrative and there is a like progression, like a through line of what's going on with the plot.
This one,
It's a sketch comedy.
it's just a series of sketches with a faint, barely visible outline of Scream 5.
Yeah, yeah. Scream 5 is the basis. There's even a character called Jack, who's the boyfriend character, who is a clear reference to Jack Quaid in that movie.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, but it is like the most skeletal of outlines or like plot progression. There's like really nothing here. It almost feels like a collection of Family Guy cutaways.
It feels like a series of sketches that were shot in isolation and then edited into a movie, with some of these sketches quite possibly being shot at the very last
Yeah,
minute.
you can tell with like how recent some of these references are that some of this was done probably like a month ago, 2 months ago, not long ago at all.
They make it a point to bring back pretty much every character who's ever been in this series, with a few exceptions. And it's there's a novelty to seeing them all back, and they're all old. But sometimes bringing them back just defies the logic of the movies they were in. Like Lachlan Monroe, I haven't seen Scary Movie
Yeah,
1 in years, but I'm pretty sure he died in 1, and then
yeah.
he's back with no
Well,
explanation.
they reference the fact that some of the characters have been killed off or like Officer Doofy is in here. They talk about stuff that happened with him. Like, weren't you the villain in the first one?
Yeah,
And
I guess I can't complain about that too much, because Regina Hall died in the
yeah,
first movie, and then I think she died a couple times, and then she keeps coming back. So she's kind of like the Kenny of the series. But that
yeah,
works with her, because the reason why she's back is because she's such a powerhouse performer that you can't not have her
y-
in here.
yeah. I definitely want to bring that up. She's been one of the best things about this series, just in general. But in this movie specifically, like she's pretty easily like the best thing about the
Oh
movie.
yeah, definitely. And in the case of Officer Doofy, you mentioned him. I don't know if you remember how Scary Movie 1 ended, but it ended with Doofy revealing himself not to be a doofus.
Yes.
He was like cool and suave, and the movie ends with him driving off in a vehicle, I think with like a beautiful lady, and he
Yeah.
gets away with it all. He wasn't actually a doofus; he was just pretending the whole way through. It's a parody of the ending of a movie you haven't seen, so I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then he's back, and he's Officer Doofy. He's a dipshit, and still thinks it's COVID time, and he's living in isolation.
Yeah.
And we find out, and one of the chuckles of the movie was, despite the fact that he was the killer of the first movie, he's free because he got pardoned by President Trump because
Ye-
he was a Capitol rioter.
Yeah, there are funny things that they do with all the characters, but there's nothing interesting that they do with the story or anything that feels like it's a send up of horror movies in like, especially the last like 10, 15 years, there's this whole idea of we're living in kind of a new golden age of horror with like A24s and Neons and all these and Blumhouses and all these companies making great new quote unquote elevated horror.
Yeah, to use a term I don't like.
But this movie is just kind of like still playing the hits of the 90s and the 2000s weirdly. There's references to Long Legs and what else from
The
recent.
substance.
Yeah, there's the substance, but
And some of these scenes, man, they're just stapled on. Like the scene with the substance has nothing to do
eh,
with anything in the movie. Just Cherry O'Terry's character, who also died in the first one, she's back, and she appears sporadically throughout the movie as the newscaster on fake
yeah.
news. And then she goes to a clinic to get injections, and she's injected with the stuff that's this movie's version of the substance. And then she's never seen again. It's because it has nothing to do with anything. It's just something that was tagged on. And then the Long Legs reference. This one is so pathetic. This one felt like it was the last thing they shot, and it
It,
has
it's weird because it seems like this could have been like the central movie they were riffing on,
that would have been better.
but there's so much possibility with that movie and that plot and that character specifically. If we're getting Chris Elliott back, like
Yeah,
heck yeah, there's a lot you can do with that.
Hansen from Scary Movie 2, one of the most memed characters in the franchise. He comes back, except he's only in two scenes. The first scene happens probably like an hour into the movie, and it's completely
Yeah,
disconnected from anything. And then the next time we see him is during the credits.
I mean, it's a weird complaint to make because this is kind of like what the series has been in general, but they don't really spoof it as much as they just do like an absurd replication of scenes from those movies.
Yeah, and also throughout the movies, the characters are frequently they're an ensemble, and but they're always typically together. They interact with one another.
Yeah.
With characters like Hanson, he never interacts with the original cast in
No.
this. He's
Well,
he's his sketch revolves around a bunch of cops who have never been in this
yeah, they
series.
have nothing to do with anything. But that's kind of even like the main cast and the supporting cast in this movie. Everyone feels so splintered from each other. There's no group that is experiencing something together.
Hmm.
They're all split up having their own like wacky side plots or like sketches, and there's just no sense of progression or like anything from the previous movies
Yeah,
really.
they just fade in and out of the movie.
It's been a while since we saw Shorty. Let's have a Shorty scene.
Yeah,
What's he doing? Oh, he's doing a podcast with Ghostface and Kai Cenat for some reason. Oh, well, I guess it's time we're gonna pop back over to see what Cindy's doing.
and sometimes the character interactions just don't make sense. Like in this movie, Cindy has a daughter who has a boyfriend, and these characters are established and they interact with the rest of the cast all throughout the movie. And then at the very end of the movie, there's a Halloween party where Cindy's two daughters and the boyfriend show up at the Halloween party, and it's a parody of the scene of the white
Yeah,
vampires coming to the juke joint in Sinners. And Brenda and Shorty and Ray and company act like they've never met before.
yeah. They're trying to get into the party, and it's like, okay, why wouldn't they be allowed to enter the party other than we're just parodying the sinners? Let us in vampire scene.
It literally could have been any other group of rando white people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for real. And
Nosy neighbors.
then the movie makes jokes involving like pointless extras, so it's like, why didn't we just do that here? It's again, there's just no logic or structure to anything. It's just like, oh well, we have to have a sinners gag, we have to have a long legs gag, we have to have a gag for this movie, and none of it flows and none of it makes any sense. And there's like no cohesive idea. Again, there's no central movie. Well, I mean, there is Scream 5, but even Scream 5 feels like just another sketch that like occasionally pops in and out of the movie.
And none of the laughs in this movie, although there are a few, but none of them are as strong as the hardest laughs in the other movies,
No,
the quote unquote
no,
good
no, not
ones.
at all. It's pretty sad when one of the biggest laughs I heard you get out of the movie was a joke about Lowry's the seasoning.
Yes. Because it was relatable.
Yeah, and you use Lowry's.
Yeah. Lowry's seasoning salt.
I heard that and I thought it was really funny, but then I heard you laugh pretty hard, and I was like, oh, of course he uses Lowry's all the time. So
Yeah. But yeah, even the bad ones, like the hat joke from Scary Movie 3 that everyone loves.
yeah,
That's funnier than anything in this movie.
yeah. Another thing those movies have is Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
There's
3 and 4.
there's like a little bit of like cachet and kind of royalty about him in that movie.
If what she says is true, we're facing an unprecedented crisis. Get me the president.
You are the president.
Good. Then I already know about this.
Like you said, it's nice to see everybody back again, but it also feels so pathetic when the material is just so limp, and it's like the Wayans are complaining that they got left out of 3 and 4, but then their grand return is this movie.
Yeah, this should have been a truly grand return. And there's like 6 writers on this movie, one of which is Keenan Ivory Wayans. And I thought one of the things that was missing from this movie was Keenan as the director, because
Yeah.
clearly when you watch those 2 movies, as ridiculous as they are, you can tell that somebody who knows how to direct movies is doing them.
Yes.
On the bright side, like I said, Cindy has a daughter in this movie. She's played by an actress named Olivia Rose
She's
Keegan.
she's great.
She does a fantastic job playing Anna Faris's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, she does that breathy thing that Anna Faris does with her voice, like, perfectly, to the
Yeah.
point where I was like, is this actually her daughter, or is this just a really great actress doing a solid Anna
Yeah.
Faris impression?
It is the weirdest thing. When she first came on, I was like, is she like a really bad actress? It's like a weird thing to complain about in a scary movie, but I was like, man, her acting is really terrible. And then it like hit me when she really kicked into doing like the breathy thing. I was like, oh wow, she's nailing this actually.
Yes. And then, like you said, Regina Hall is Brenda. The best thing in the movie. She's lost none of that spark. She could play this character to her dying
No,
day.
and she looks amazing too. She
Yes.
has not aged a day.
She's 55.
It's crazy. Um, I thought Shorty was the second best thing about this movie. He gets like some of the best gags in the movie. There's a Get Out reference that is actually like really funny. They take the little like weird things about the scenes, like Daniel Kaluuya scratching into
Yeah,
the
he's
armchairs,
digging his hands into the armchair, and
and then here Shorty's like doing it so hard that it's making all the cotton
yeah,
shoot out of the arms.
until the whole room is flooded with stuffing and cotton.
Yeah,
It's a funny visual joke. It's like airplane stuff.
yeah, it's something straight out of like Scary Movie 3 or 4. And then he gets another like really great one that's just like a K-pop Demon Hunters reference. Also something you can tell was done fairly recently, but it's
That's that's another one of those ones that you probably could have cut out of the movie
yeah,
altogether, because in addition to it just being random and having nothing to do with anything, it's not even horror related.
no. It just K-pop Demon Hunters was really popular, so we need to reference it in some kind of way. Although I did enjoy the scene just because animation is something that the series hasn't really put into their movies before.
Oh god, probably the worst one was the Michael Jackson scene.
It was, but it also made me laugh just because of what the joke was.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a scene where the character of Tuesday, who's a parody of Jenna Ortega's character from Scary Movie 5 and Wednesday Addams, she's in a hospital bed, and the camera just pans over to the television and just focuses on what she's watching for about 2 minutes. And it's a parody of the Michael Jackson movie. This is another one that was probably
It
filmed like 2 days
yeah,
before the movie's
it's a
release.
parody of the first trailer for Michael, where it's just him in the studio getting ready, and it's like the snazzy editing and the music and the stuff in the background. The thing that makes it work is the punchline. But again, this is a sketch and a gag that has nothing to do with horror, has nothing to do with the quote unquote plot that we're progressing. It's just a Family Guy joke.
Yeah, there's kind of a similar scene in Scary Movie 1 when Brenda's in a movie theater and there's a trailer for Amistad 2. But at least that joke with all the trailers and Brenda being in the theater is building to something. And that's another thing. Like, none of these sketches really built to anything. They just stop. It kind of reminded me of The
Yeah.
Master of Disguise.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad comparison to make. Like it's one of the worst movies ever made. So when we're comparing it to that, we're in bad territory.
And then the ending of this movie is just pathetic.
It is such a weak. Obviously, we run out of ideas and we have no idea how to end this thing. So we're just gonna burn the movie down, like literally.
Every Scary Movie has had at least a climax, like something that felt like a proper finish. This, it just stops.
Yeah, they it's almost like someone comes onto the screen and is like, okay, this has gone on long enough. It's time for everyone to go home now.
Yeah, and the last image that we see in this movie is the cast bare asses
Yeah.
mooning us right before the credits, so
Yeah.
that seems apropos.
It's extremely weak.
And before we get into ratings, I will say that there was a missed opportunity here. There's a scene in the movie where Ghostface is chasing Tuesday through a hall and she's in a wheelchair. Missed opportunity to bring David Cross back.
Oh yeah.
David Cross as Dwight from Scary Movie 2. The best thing about that movie. That would have been funny.
That's right, mother.
Yeah.
Hell, even Tim Curry could have wheeled down the hall.
Yeah, that'd have been nice.
What is it? Is it titties?
So what is your final number rating on the scale of 1 to 10?
It's tough, because I didn't have a terrible time watching it.
No, this wasn't very good, but it also was not a miserable time at the
No.
movies.
It's an hour and a half. There's enough laughs to get you through it to where you can say, yeah, it was pretty funny. But this is like such a hack script and such a weak collection of sketches and ideas. And again, there's like not a shred of cohesion amongst any of the. If you're looking to just get a few laughs, I'd probably give it like a 6. But if we're actually talking about the quality of the movie, I'd probably give it like a 4. It's not very good at all.
Yeah, I think 4 is probably fair, and something I forgot to mention as like one last thing. Not only was this not a triumphant return, but also when last year we had The Naked Gun,
Yes.
there is no excuse for this.
No.
It's proof that you can still do this.
Yeah, it's a reinvention of the same idea, making it feel new, but being the same, and just a really high quality when it comes to jokes and the amount of jokes and the amount of quality jokes.
And I was laughing consistently and hard all throughout that movie. This one was a series of like chuckles with the occasional hard laugh.
And it has a narrative and a plot.
Yes. And we watched this in a theater with people, and there was laughter, but not as uproarious as Naked Gun.
This movie and then the marketing, they seem to like go out of their way to say like, oh, we're gonna be real edgy and we're gonna attack everybody.
Yeah,
And,
the tagline of this movie is every line will be crossed.
and honestly, the movie is extremely tame and safe.
Yeah, it feels very limp in the dick.
Yeah, they're it seems like the hardest they ever go are some like honestly in kind of poor taste trans jokes that they make. One in particular that just feels mean spirited, but the rest of them are just like just lazy.
Yeah, it feels like a bunch of old people throwing around buzzwords and thinking that's going to get a reaction.
Yeah, but as for like crossing lines, it's if this is what you guys think is crossing lines, then you guys are like probably like way too old to be doing this
Yeah,
now.
I think you need to reevaluate your entire comedic philosophy if this is your idea of
Yeah,
crossing the line.
This is not pushing any kind of boundaries.
Oh, and by the way, I give this a 5 out of 10. So that's Scary Movie 6, or just Scary Movie, if you will. I'd say just watch this on streaming.
Yeah.